Initial SEO research used to take me hours. Now I use this Claude and Ahrefs mega audit prompt to work through and find all of these opportunities from an SEO perspective on any website I look at. Let me show you how it works. First, I'll walk you through the prompt in a very high level view here, and then we will look at this and use an example website. I'll show you the output it provides and how you can use this for your website as well. We have to give Claude a little bit of general information and explain to it that it is an expert SEO strategist. And we have to also use Ahrefs within Claude to be able to get all of these details that we need. And the only input that you need here is inserting a website URL. What this will look at for us is it'll do a technical audit, a keyword and content analysis, competitor benchmarking, backlink analysis, on-page UX, a synthesis of any gaps and give us a high-level summary of what's going on. Then it will output an executive summary, site performance metrics, technical SEO gaps and fixes, keyword content gaps and opportunities, competitor insights, backlink gaps and opportunities, on-page and UX recommendations, an SEO strategy and an action plan, and then any risks or things that need to be monitored as well. And it will output this for us with just inputting the URL of the website we want to look at. I've chosen Leavitt Machinery to look at and see what's going on with their site. If we delete this out and add in Leavitt Machinery in here, and I take this whole prompt, copy, go to Claude, and paste it in here and run. Now, for this to work, you do have to have an Ahrefs subscription, and you do have to have it activated here as a connector. I ran this prompt so you didn't have to sit here and watch this run on video, and it took about 2.5 minutes for it to complete. So just to give you a quick high-level view, I pasted the entire prompt into Claude here, and then it says it will look through all this for us. It reads through the Ahrefs docs and then looks at all of these different tools within Ahrefs here. And every now and then it looks like there were errors with certain executions, like top pages or referring domains. And not sure exactly why that happens. Potentially could be a timeout based on the tool or the API. Again, not sure exactly why that's happening, but it still gives us a ton of different data. And I could run this again to see what's going on here. And if there is missing data within the final report, you could potentially do that as well. And then looks through keyword opportunities, insights on page performance and content opportunities, top competitor data. And now it says comprehensive data here. And here is the audit report. So it gives us an executive summary. And it says here, with targeted optimization, the site can realistically achieve 25 to 35% traffic growth within 6 months, translating to approximately 1,000 additional monthly visitors. And based on the value of their traffic here, you can see that would likely be extremely valuable for them. Their current monthly traffic is 3,146 visitors. Their estimated traffic value, if they were to be paying Google ads for this traffic, it's worth $376,000 per month. So in other words, if we flip that, they're essentially getting $376,000 worth of organic traffic for free based on their organic SEO rankings. So if they were to increase this by 25%, chances are they'd increase this to $500,000 plus. So extremely valuable there for them. Now, keyword performance here, you can see competitive position. They are competing with United Rentals, Toyota Forklift, and Sunbelt Rentals. Common keywords, competitor-only keywords. So huge content opportunity here. 72,000 keywords that competitors rank for that they don't. And some of this may not be, very likely, a very large percentage of these is not something they want to compete for. But even if 1% of these keywords make sense, that still leaves them hundreds of opportunities to optimize for and work to rank for. And then this is probably what I mentioned about a minute ago here, something going on with this tool here, but it still gives us opportunities within the technical SEO gaps here. So high priority, fixing the geographic targeting and local SEO, fixing it tells you exactly what to do to fix these. So create dedicated location pages with NAP consistency. NAP is name, address, phone number, local schema markup, unique content for each branch, and embed Google Maps. So it gives you basically the full guidelines for building this out. Missing high value rental category pages. So building those out as well, how to do this. Insufficient internal linking architecture. I talk about this all the time. This is extremely valuable and something that almost every website can use more of. Fixing it, how to build this out and work that in. Schema markup implementation. Again, this is huge, especially with some of these FAQ schemas for local and also for AI rankings. Medium prioritization for mobile content, thin pages here. And then it gives us some keyword opportunities here. So current top keywords, they're performing well for brand name, forklift training, and even still here, if you look, forklift training, 2,300 people search this every month. They're position 6 and only getting 177 of those because they are position 6. So again, huge opportunity for this phrase alone to move up. And this would very likely, same thing with forklift certification. These would very likely have location specific searches as well. Not sure exactly how much you can get certified remotely. Training potentially with like a video course or something. But again, something to look at and think about. Content gaps, missing or underperforming. So we have critical masses here. Scissor lift rental. Again, this would be likely local, potentially pseudo regional, but I can't imagine you'd go very far to get a scissor lift. There's probably some at most locations. Boom lift rental, same thing. Forklift rental, pallet jack, reach truck, order picker. So all of these huge opportunities for them for optimizing better and ranking better. Informational gaps here, how to get forklift certified. This would be something to have on the site, especially since that is one of the primary keywords they rank for. Forklift certification cost, that could be included in a primary piece of content, like a pillar page for forklift certifications. Used forklifts for sale, if that is part of their market. And then forklift repair near me, if that's something they do. Forklift training near me. So this is an opportunity here that they could rank for. All of these good keywords to potentially rank for. Gives you the intent of the page, the target page itself, and then a strategy for building this. Long tail rentals keywords here. Same process. Volume, keyword difficulty, intent, target page, strategy, how to build them, parts and service keywords. You get the point. All of those, that's what all of these are. So this is by itself extremely valuable. You don't have to do any additional research. And this is all based on data from their website. So it is all active, relevant, and highly targeted data that they can use to generate better results from their website and from SEO rankings. And then more information here about competitors. And then we get into competitive gaps to work on. And then this continue part, it ran out. The prompt was, or the response was too long, so I had to press continue. And then we get into backlink gaps and opportunities, which tells us what's going on there, strengths and weaknesses, opportunities they can work on from that perspective. Backlink gaps, industry authority links missing. So this looks at what their competitors have they're missing. So then we can do direct outreach to these sites to potentially get those links as well. Educational, institutional links, local business and chambers, if they have any of those, content marketing, guest posting, and broken link building and resource pages. And these broken link building and resource pages, these would be great opportunities for link building if they were to build some of these, how to get forklift certified, certification costs, things like that. You can find pages that currently rank for or get traffic for these keywords and that have broken links on them. And then you offer your resource as an alternative for generating a link to your site. And quick wins here, reclaiming unlinked brand mentions. That's another massive opportunity. So you can find any website that talks about your company and message them with a script just like this. So thanks for mentioning us in your article. Would you mind adding a link to help readers learn more about our service? Here's the URL. And all they have to do is go to the site and update it. Supplier and manufacturer co-marketing. So any brands you carry, a lot of times they would be happy to link to you because it helps them as well. Local news and PR digital strategy, and then gives you some medium-term options to work on as well from a link building perspective. Toxic link audit. This is more preventative, looking to see what's going on. Anchor text recommendations, on-page UX recommendations. So you can see how detailed this actually is and gives you this massive report that before would have taken days or weeks to put together. And with this level of detail and this level of sophistication, and this does this automatically in minutes now for you, which is really cool. And the key still is to be able to understand, read through, and interpret this and figure out what should be done, even though this does give you ideas and opportunities and what to potentially work on and in what order. You still have to have some understanding of how to work this in and in what order, because in most cases, you're not going to have an unlimited amount of resources to be able to implement all of this stuff immediately. So it's still a matter of figuring out what should be done in what phases here. And you can see it gives you kind of an idea of what this would take, how long it would take, and the potential resources as well. So if you were to share this with a company, they have somebody in-house, you can still give this to them and say, take care of all of these things. And you can do this with your developer on staff and or somebody who has the ability to make some of these SEO changes here. And if not, then you can work on this stuff as well. And then it gives you essentially what the content would cost, budget depending on content writing and development, gives you content creation here. If you were to go through and do all of this, all of these opportunities there, budget for these content pages here for link building for these low-hanging fruits to get just the unclaimed or unlinked brand mention, content marketing and outreach, process there, monitoring and optimization. And then we have monitoring and optimization here as well. And then KPIs to track and look at and what you should be focusing on and targeting toward. And then this gives you the estimate for what this would cost to do this and the potential return that you're looking at in terms of traffic. And then they can reverse engineer. If, like I said, if their traffic estimate was an additional 3,000 visitors per month, if they were to double traffic and their traffic value is 350,000 for current traffic, that means they would basically 10x the ROI if they were to spend 33,000 for this over a 6-month period to get an additional 3,000 plus visitors to the site. And then here are risks. I like to share these also as I'm looking at SEO processes because they're absolutely always things to keep in mind. Algorithm updates, competitor response. This is given that if competitors are going to be doubling their SEO budget, then you probably need to do more than this. Technical site issues, things could not work out exactly as planned, and it may take more time for these changes to happen. And also your site may have other issues that arise as you start to make some of these changes as well. And then let's see, 4 was local SEO penalties. This is pretty low risk from what I've seen, but absolutely something that could happen. Content cannibalization, as you start building more content, that can happen as well. And you may need to restructure the organization of your content. Monitoring step guide, verifying all your properties, making sure all this is done, setting up alerts, weekly monitoring, GA4 setup, conversion tracking, telling you exactly what to do with all of these. And then quarterly review process, what to look at and what to expect from a traffic growth perspective. If you're ahead of target, here's what you can do, on target, behind target, and some of this stuff. So depending on if you are doing this for your own company or your own website, then all of this stuff would make sense. If you are doing this as an SEO expert for a company, or you are the SEO person at the company, then some of this stuff doesn't need to be shared with everybody. You can just share the important outside facing information with the team. And like leadership may not care about the exact strategy or structure of what needs to be done. They just want to see growth, traffic, and revenue. Success metrics and ROI projections. These are giving you opportunities or what would be conservative, moderate, or aggressive growth, and conservative metrics, quote submissions, baseline, revenue attribution. So this monthly revenue from organic 6-month projection, this gives you, based on these current numbers here, the 6-month targets of what could be expected, and then the estimated revenue increase from these. So the total monthly revenue increase is estimated to be somewhere in the $70,000 to $139,000 per month. Annual revenue impact, an additional $847,500 to nearly 1.7 million in new annual revenue just from 6 months of organic efforts for this focus here. So this would be something great to share as well. Next steps and immediate actions, and then it gives you the opportunities here, final recommendations, what to work on and in what order. And then a long-term vision, year 2 goals, revenue from organic 2 to 3 million per year, strategic initiatives, here's what else you can do as well. And then the overall conclusion, strategy outline, success hinges on 3 factors, immediate next steps, and that's it. Extremely detailed audit there. Hopefully you got some value from this video. Subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll see you in the next one.